Exposed my best friend's affair with my boyfriend, confronted them and cut all contact. Then my best friend did something unthinkable. My ex-best friend attempted to take her life, and I don't care. I haven't reached out. She slept with my boyfriend behind my back. We're both 20 and we've been friends since reception, 4 to 5 years old, UK thing. She was my sister, my rock. We stood by each other through everything. When my parents divorced, she was there to offer a shoulder for me to cry on. When her grandmother died, I was there keeping her afloat throughout high school. I'd been dating my boyfriend, 21, male, for about 3 years. We started dating in sixth form, a version of UK college, and he was my first serious relationship. I introduced him to my family. He was many of my firsts. He was sweet, a little awkward being a gamer guy, but he treated me to date nights and always made me feel special. Maybe this is me being young and dumb, but I thought I'd marry this guy someday. This was something I told my best friend. Well, about a month ago, while my boyfriend was in the shower, I saw a text notification pop up on his phone. We look at each other's notifications all the time, so I grabbed his phone to see it. It was from her, asking if they were still on for tonight and if she should wear his favorite dress. He told me he was hanging out with friends and going drinking. Him going drinking with friends wasn't unusual, so I never thought anything of it, but in hindsight, I wonder how much of him going out was with friends and how much of it was going out with her. I saved screenshots of their conversations. I sent them to myself. I showed him the messages when he came out of the bathroom and demanded he explain himself about them. I couldn't contain how upset, angry, and hurt I was. An argument ensued where I told him he was disgusting, and I left his place. Shortly after arriving home, I started getting bombarded with calls and texts from my best friend. I answered none of her calls. I couldn't stomach hearing her voice, but her texts ranged from, "She never meant to hurt me. My boyfriend hit on her first. It didn't mean anything." Then it got angry, saying I should hear her out. If I was a real friend, I would take her calls. I'm being petty and childish for not listening to her side. Then back to sadness, saying I was her closest friend in the world and she didn't want to lose me. My boyfriend was strangely quiet during this time. After a few days, I got myself together enough to send them both messages. Maybe it was cowardly, but I didn't have the strength to call them. I told my now ex-boyfriend that we were done and I won't give cheaters any chances with me. He responded by trying to call me, but after the third or fourth attempt, he gave up. He sent me a final message saying it wasn't that big of a deal, that they'd just fooled around, but agreeing he didn't want to date me anymore. My ex-best friend was more persistent after I told her I wanted nothing to do with her. Day after day, I'd get messages and calls from her. Demanding to talk. Demanding we resolve this. Demanding I not say anything to anyone. Saying she stopped seeing him. Saying she'll kill herself if I don't talk to her. Really fucked up shit. I ended up confiding to a mutual friend about what was going on because I was seriously beginning to wonder if I was being a bitch. This friend reassured me that my feelings were justified. However, I wasn't expecting this friend to spread around what happened. The gossip spread like wildfire, and a few days ago, my ex-best friend tried to take her life. I said nothing. I haven't visited her in the hospital. I haven't sent any messages to her family. Now her older sister keeps messaging me, telling me I'm a heartless bitch for leaving her at her lowest. For not trying to prevent this and that everyone makes mistakes, and that her sister didn't intentionally hurt me. Maybe it does make me a heartless bitch, but I don't care. I'm relieved she survived, but I'll never forgive her. I'll never forgive her betrayal. She destroyed our friendship when she slept with my boyfriend. Update. Hey again. It's been a while. First, I want to thank everyone for all of their comments and support. In hindsight, I know now I wasn't being a bitch. But in the moment when I was being bombarded by texts and calls from her family, it's hard not to let those thoughts mess with your head. I didn't know if I was going to post an update, but some things have happened, so this might get a little long. Sorry. Some specific info: ex-best friend is Nikki. Her older sister is Tammy. Ex-boyfriend is Josh. I'll name anyone relevant as I go. So I mentioned in a comment that my mom wanted to speak to me later that day. I had a few replies warning me that she would try to pressure me into forgiving Nikki, and they were right. She came over to my dad's that evening and wanted a conversation in private. She asked if I'd spoken to Nikki yet. I said no. She asked if I was going to. I said no. I was trying to be as firm as possible because I knew what she was about to do. She asked, "Don't you think you should?" My response was, "No, I don't see why I should." I sent her a final message almost a month ago. This is where things began to really go south in the conversation. "Mom. Love, she's in the hospital right now. She needs all the support she can get. You're meant to be her friend. I didn't even know about her condition until her mother called me. Me? Really? I'm meant to be her friend after she slept with Josh behind my back. I didn't say anything about her because I didn't want to talk about her. Mom, are you really going to hold on to a silly grudge? I understand she hurt you, but she's hurting so much more right now, love. Me? She's hurting. Mom. Yes, you both are. I raised you to be a kind, forgiving person. Why can't you forgive her? Me? What? Like how Dad should have forgiven you? This wasn't my finest moment. I didn't bring it up before because it wasn't relevant, but the reason why my parents divorced was due to infidelity on Mom's end. And it wasn't only a one-time thing, not that it matters even if it had been, but my mom always believed Dad should have just forgiven her. I admit this was a low blow from me, and the conversation spiraled into an argument from there with both of us saying some not-so-kind things to each other. Eventually, I decided the conversation was over because we were just going around in circles and heading into yelling territory, so I told her to leave and I'll try talking to her again when we've both calmed down. When she was leaving, she said this. I hope you're not as cruel as your father. I'm typically not an angry person, but this infuriated and hurt me. I lived 50-50 between my parents. They both made sure I had everything I could need or want, but she felt her situation and struggles were undeserved. Dad never helped with bills or payments that didn't involve me. She expected more. Cheaters always do. I didn't say anything when she left. I just blocked her number and social media accounts and cried. She cared more about the girl who had hurt her daughter than said daughter. She realized pretty quickly what had happened and came back the next day, but Dad told her I didn't want to talk to her. True, and she had to leave. It took maybe half an hour before she finally left. The next few days, she kept trying to reach me through other people, but I stayed silent. The Friday after my post, I decided I felt calm enough to talk to her and unblocked her. We spoke over the phone, which wasn't as exciting as above. Basically, it was her apologizing and telling me she was wrong for trying to force me to forgive Nikki, that she'll respect my decision but tried to suggest I think about it. I very firmly told her I was not forgiving Nikki. She just said okay. Things didn't really feel the same with us. I couldn't bring myself to be as chatty with her as I was before, and it didn't help that she kept giving me updates about Nikki. The first time she did it, she told me Nikki had been put on a 72-hour psych hold, assessed, and eventually released. I told her I didn't want any updates on Nikki's situation. I won't stop her from checking in, but I didn't want to be involved. She complained and said she thought I'd want to visit her, but I threatened to block her again if she kept pushing, and she shut up. Nothing was mentioned about Nikki for a couple of weeks before Mom again broke my boundary and brought her up, telling me about how Josh had stopped talking to her and how Nikki needed a shoulder to cry on. I again told her I didn't want to know, and this was her last chance not to bring her up or I would cut her from my life. She complained again but eventually promised it wouldn't happen again. Maybe I should have learned from my mistakes because I know my mother. She doesn't take no for an answer. It was really quiet for a while. My friends and I had all basically carried on from what happened, and even though I know a couple of them still occasionally talk to Nikki, they never bring her up around me or tell her, I hope, how I'm doing. I thought I could finally close this chapter on my life, but nope. Today my mother called me and asked if I wanted to get lunch. I hadn't seen her in a while, so what was the harm? I headed to the Weatherspoons we planned to eat at, and who did I find sitting with my mom? Nikki and her sister Tammy. As soon as Nikki sees me, she gets up and tries to hug me, but I just raise a hand and take a step back, and this girl has the audacity to look upset. Mom immediately knows she's fucked up because she's scrambling with all of the excuses. It hurts to see you two fall apart like this. You were so close. I thought you'd forgive her by now. And my favorite, she made a mistake. She misses you. During this time, Nikki has been quiet, and I can see Tammy's glaring at me. I'm just so fucking angry and upset. I honestly didn't think she'd pull something like this. I wanted to leave and cry, but I looked at Nikki and said, for someone who's made a mistake, she sure hasn't apologized for it yet. She had this guilty look on her face and muttered something about me having her blocked and having no way to. I said, is that really all you have to say? And she just looked at me confused. I was done. I turned to leave, and her sister started yelling after me, saying that I owed Nikki a second chance with all the trauma I put her through. While Nikki was begging me to just listen to her and talk to her. I told them all to fuck off and never contact me again and left. I managed to get out of there before Tammy started a fight and went home, where I sent my mom a text a while ago telling her she'd better lose my number because she no longer has a spot in my life. Then I blocked her and just cried. My dad's been doing his best to comfort me, but it just hurts so bad that my own mother did this to me. So that's where things are at right now. I'll update if anything else happens, but this whole situation really fucking sucks. Story 2. 2 weeks before my wedding, my best friend confessed that the reason why me and my fiancé got together and will be married is because of her throwaway account, because everyone involved knows my main account. I don't know what to do. I've been sleepless for days because of this. I need to get this all off my chest or my heart might explode. My wedding is on the 19th, and my bachelorette party was last Saturday and was organized by my best friend Lucy. I partied with my bridesmaids, had some shots, and they were so excited for me marrying the love of my life, Irwin. We've been together for 3 years. After the party, everyone was wasted and went home, leaving Lucy and me in the Airbnb. I was not that drunk, at most tipsy, so I helped her clean up because I'll be staying the night with her too. While we're cleaning, she's silent, which is very not her. She was very active during the party, so I thought she's just tired, so I told her I can finish up and she can rest, so she went to the bedroom. While I was finishing the dishes, she returned to the kitchen. She told me that she needs to tell me something. So I stopped what I was doing. Then she said she's sorry. She did not expect that Irwin would ask me for marriage because it was a bet gone wrong. I was confused and asked her to elaborate. But what she basically told me is that when I first introduced them to each other, she and Irwin had a bet that if he can get me to marry him, she will exclusively date him. Apparently, they have been secretly dating since before I met Irwin. Their relationship was toxic, so they have these constant breaks, but on this particular break, she allowed him to date anyone. That's when Irwin and I met. When I asked her why she's only telling me this now, she said that she felt guilty. She didn't want to hurt me, but she didn't want to take full accountability and acknowledged Irwin's part in this. She was trying to convince Irwin to come clean together, but he refused and told her that the bet was long gone because he was genuinely in love with me already. When I asked her if she still has feelings for Irwin, she answered yes, and she realized how good of a man Irwin is now. When I asked if Irwin knows how she feels about him, she answered no, but if I allow her, she'll confess her feelings for him. At that point, I just left. I had no energy left even if I wanted to slap her at that moment. I feel so played, betrayed, and humiliated. The two closest people in my life made me a pawn to their sick games. I don't know what to do, where to start. I'm so confused. It's been 3 days, and I haven't told anyone yet, not even Irwin, who is in Hong Kong, not even my parents. Lucy hasn't tried to contact me, and I think she didn't say anything yet to Irwin. The wedding is in 2 weeks? How do I face this? Edit. Hi. I've been reading comments, and a lot of you have been helpful. Thank you for your kind words. When I wrote my original post, I was emotional. Maybe that's why I omitted some important facts. Also, I am not a native English speaker, so maybe some stuff was lost in translation. Just want to add something here for context. Lucy and I have been friends for 11 years since high school. We even attended the same uni but different courses. During college, we had a bit of a falling out due to our busy schedules, but after graduation, we reconnected. But she isn't as open to me now as she was before. When I ask about her love life, she'll say that she's not ready for dating, only doing casual flings. She once introduced me to her then boyfriend. So, yes, I admit I was kind of a crappy friend and did not keep up with her flings. I work corporate, and Lucy works remotely, so sometimes she stays for a month or so on an island or a beach, so we rarely see each other. But we always get together when she's in my city. Lucy is not my maid of honor. My sister is my maid of honor, but she's still in university for exams, so Lucy took over planning the bachelorette party. When I said that I introduced Lucy and Irwin to each other, I meant I introduced Irwin as my boyfriend to Lucy. Sorry if that's confusing. As for Lucy and Irwin's relationship, I don't know the timeline yet. Update. Hey you all. A lot of you here DM me for an update. So here. I also posted this in an off my chest community when I realized that my post here was locked. I figured I owed everyone an update, especially those who reached out. Original post in my profile. Hi everyone, I didn't expect this post to blow up. When I wrote my original post, I was emotional. Maybe that's why I omitted some important facts. Also, I am not a native English speaker, so maybe some stuff I wrote was lost in translation. I also commented on my original post about my history with Lucy if you're interested. A little history of how Irwin and I met. We met at a company event. My company was the host, and he was one of our clients. We bonded over the after party and exchanged numbers. Days after, he added me on Facebook. I actually saw that he and Lucy were mutual friends. So I asked him if they knew each other. He answered yes, and they met during their internship days, but they weren't close. I asked Lucy too, and she confirmed it, so I didn't make a big deal of it. We began casually dating, no labels, just seeing where things go. I know that he's been seeing someone else at this time, as I do too. But when we admitted to wanting to make things official with us, we broke up with our casual flings. And the rest is history. I appreciate everyone who reached out. Thank you for the kind messages, and it made me realize to think of my situation logically. So I did. And yes, Erwin and I already talked. I picked him up from the airport yesterday and told him about Lucy's confessions. He went pale, but he was calm. He told me to ask everything I want to know, and he will answer truthfully. I'll try to summarize everything here. 1. Did he know that I was Lucy's best friend when we met? No, they didn't talk much about their personal lives when they were together. But he knows that Lucy's best friend's name is my name, but when we met, he didn't really put the pieces together. 2. How long were they dating before we met? He did not keep count because they were on and off again, but they were casually seeing each other for around 4 months before we met. And in his mind, they were never official as they didn't label their relationship. He did try to pursue her, but she kept messing with his head, so when she allowed him to date when they were on a break, he thought of it as a way out. 3. Did they really bet on me? Yes. But he did not take it seriously. He also did not initiate it. 4th. When did the bet happen? It happened days after I introduced him as friend to Lucy. He admitted that since we were still not exclusively dating, he still saw Lucy. Lucy initiated the bet, and if he did win, she would know that he was mature enough to seriously date. 5. When did their relationship end? A month or so before we made our relationship official, he already broke things off with Lucy because he was starting to fall for me. Lucy took it well and did not even bring up the bet. 6. Why all of a sudden did Lucy bring up the bet? Lucy started bringing it up after we made our engagement official. He admitted to having forgotten about the bet until she reminded him of it. So when Lucy reached out to come clean, he refused because he didn't really think that it was serious. 7. Is he aware of Lucy's feelings? No, he genuinely thinks that Lucy is happy for us. Right now, I don't know where to go from here. I believe him, but I just don't like the idea that the foundation of our relationship is from a bet. Whether it be serious or not, it's still not good. Can we rebuild trust from here? I don't know, but I'm willing to try. Aside from this issue, Erwin has been a great boyfriend, and I don't want to make harsh decisions about us and regret it in the end. What I do know now is that we need to call off the wedding. He told me that he'll understand if I don't want to go on with our wedding anymore, but he asked me to consider our relationship because he loves me and he'll do anything to regain my trust back. I also learned that Lucy actually tried to contact Erwin days after the bachelorette party, but Erwin missed her calls. She's still not reaching out to me, but I don't care anymore. Many of you say that she's sabotaging our relationship. This is her last-ditch effort to have Erwin by herself, and I think you're right. It just hurts that our 11 years of friendship have to end this way. So there, I think this will also be my last update. Everything from here on will be Erwin and my decisions. Thank you, everyone, for listening.